Amy Marcos hindi titigil hanggat hindi natutumbok ang punot-dulo ng iligal na pag-aresto sa dating Pangulo. PNP Officer Torre, PNP Chief Marbil at DOJ Secretary Boyeng Rimula hindi makakatakas kay Senator Amy Marcos. Pero bago ang lahat, kung hindi pa kayo nakapag-subscribe sa channel na ito, please do subscribe para mas maging updated pa kayo sa mga susunod kong mga videos. Wala ngang makapagpapatigil kay Senator Amy Marcos sa tuluyang pag-imbestiga sa mga taong sangkot sa pagpapadala kay FPRRD sa Netherlands. Sila malapit na ngang mapaamin si Torre at Marbil sa kung sino talaga ang nag-utos sa kanila upang tuluyang isuko ang dating Pangulo sa Netherlands. Kaya naman, Senator Amy patuloy pa rin ang pag-iimbestiga hanggang sa mapaamin na sila.
Sa PCTC.
Yes, Madam Chair. We are joined from the Philippine Center of Transnational Crime, Executive Director, Lieutenant General Anthony Alcantara. Sir. From the Philippine National Police, we are joined today by Chief PNP Police General Romel Francisco Marbil, sir. And with him is Police Major General Nicolas Torre III, sir. With them, likewise, Madam Chair, is Police Brigadier General Jean Fajardo. Also from the Philippine National Police Contingent is the Nurse Officer Police Major Imay Contayoso. Moving on from the Department of Foreign Affairs, we are joined by the Honorable Secretary Enrique A. Manalo.
Pasensya. Major Cantayoso, asan po? Can you come forward, please? Tokaya, dito ka. So, yung iba pang confirm dito, si General Salvador, General Gurat, wala po.
Wala pa po.
Colonel Pestaño, wala pa yan.
Wala pa po, ma'am.
Okay. The chair also recognizes the arrival of Senator Bato de la Rosa, Ronald. And yung ating medical doctor, Paulo Calma.
Not here, ma'am.
Not here. Okay, sa DFA po.
With your permission, ma'am, Department of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Secretary Enrique A. Manalo, sir. With him is Undersecretary Eduardo De Vega and Attorney Paul Saret. From the Department of Migrant Workers, we are joined by Honorable Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak. From the Office of the Deputy Executive Secretary for Finance and Administration of the Office of the President, Assistant Executive Secretary Attorney Marvin Cañero.
Teka, andito si Yusek De Vega, Secretary Manalo, Attorney Saret. Ay, nandiyan ka pala sa likod. Okay, pasensya. Kakdak. Okay. Admin Ignacio Awan ni Arnel. Ay, wala si Arnel.
Wala, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sumunod. Yes?
From the taking off, ma'am, from the Office of the Deputy Executive Secretary for Finance and Administration, Assistant Executive Secretary Attorney Marvin Cañero.
Teka, sina DILG, wala rito. Si Secretary John Vic, wala, nag-regrets.
Wala, ma'am.
Ganon din si Solgen, wala rin.
Wala din po, ma'am.
Okay, so yung sumunod, si Attorney Marvin Cañero. Oo, nandito ka rin nung first time, ano? Wala, first time ka pumunta. Okay, salamat. Okay, sige, sumunod.
Likewise confirmed from the Office of the Special Envoy on Transnational Crime, Special Envoy Marcos.
Teka, yung OTS, DOTC.
Ma'am, there is no confirmation and
Yung Administrator Bisnar, wala rito.
wala po, Madam Chair.
Kaap.
They have confirmed, ma'am, pero wala pa po dito ngayon.
Okay. Yes, please proceed.
From the Office of Special Envoy on Transnational Crime, Special Envoy Marcos V. Lacanilao. From the Securities and Exchange Commission, Chief Counsel for Company Registration and Monitoring Department, Attorney RJ A. Bernal. Sir. And with him is Attorney Ferdinio Logi Santiago. We likewise are joined this afternoon by the Honorable Justice Adolfo S. Ascuna, Jr. of the Supreme Court of the Philippines. We also have Attorney Martin Delgra III via Zoom, Madam Chair. And finally, we have Attorney Alexis F. Medina. Good morning, sir. That is all, Madam Chair.
Itatanong ko lang, Captain Gulia is not here, the pilots. Captain Elmo Segovia, wala rin.
Not here, Madam Chair.
Okay, Flight Officer Wenny Lynn Salcepuedes, wala rin.
Wala din po, ma'am.
At Flight Officer Elinino Santos, wala rin.
Wala din po, Madam Chair.
Okay, tapos yung presidente ng Challenger Aero Air Corporation, Mr. Ferdinand Constantino, wala rin.
Wala din po, Madam Chair.
Okay, so lahat yan what?
That is all, Madam Chair. Magandang hapon po.
Yes, we recognize and acknowledge the arrival of Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Maraming salamat. At I simply will repeat, maybe you've forgotten, you were unable to come during the second hearing. Sa ating agenda, maliwanag naman, unang-una, the clarification of the involvement of the ICC, the Interpol, and the various government agencies in the arrest of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Confirmation that measures were taken to ensure that the rights of the former president under domestic law and relevant treaties were properly protected throughout the process, and such other matters that may aid the committee in crafting necessary legislation in the coordination between Philippine authorities and international tribunals and law enforcement organizations. At kinikilala rin natin si Dr. Donald Palma ng PNP at si Senator Bongo na lalahok sa Zoom. So, andito na tayong lahat. Maraming salamat sa pagdalo ninyo. Sa wakas, inaantabayanan kayo ng buong sambayanan. Inaasahan ko, palibasa narito na rin kayo, handa na rin kayo magsabi ng katotohanan at ilahad lahat ng detalye na kinakailangan natin para alamin ang totoong nangyari nung tinangay ang ating dating Pangulo, Presidente Duterte. Sa ganitong paraan, tatanungin ko sa ating committee secretary na kung sakali yung oath of the resource person should now be administered. Those who were not present at the last hearing, ang mga bago dito, si Ambassador Lacanilaw. Sa palagay ko, si Yusek De Vega, Secretary Manalo, wala po rito. Yung iba wala rin, si ang ating nurse Cantayoso, sino pa? Si Apo Calma. Yes, Secretary Kakdak, wala po kayo dati. Attorney Cañero, wala rin po. Attorney RG Bernal, si Justice Ascona. Kung maaari kayong tumayo at sumumpa sa atin, Richard Padulyon rin po.
Kindly raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in the Senate investigation? Thank you. Madam Chair, the oath has been administered.
Yes, maraming salamat. Maraming ibinunyag nung nakaraang hearing. Kaya't mag-umpisa tayo kay Secretary Remulla with a very simple question. Is the Constitution the supreme law over all other laws? Simple lang po.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is also supreme over all other treaties.
Yes, ma'am.
Kapag nagkaroon ng conflict sa Constitution at yung Rome Statute, alin ang maghahari?
The Constitution prevails.
Kapag may pag-iiba sa saligang batas at yung RA 9851, alin ang mangingibabaw?
Ang saligang batas po.
Parati ang saligang batas, di po ba? Maliwanag
Yes,
ho yun. The President has been saying that the country was just complying with obligations and commitments to the Interpol in arresting and turning over the former president to the ICC. For the nth time, liwanagan na lang natin, a red notice from the Interpol is not a warrant of arrest. Is that correct? Perhaps the PCTC can help us here.
Tama po kayo, Madam Chair. Ang red notice po ay hindi siya ang warrant of arrest.
At ang alam ko, nung November 21, 2024, may nakita ako pero hindi ko na mahanap ngayon, biglang nawala sa ating website, sa DOJ website, isang legal opinion tungkol sa UAE na sinasaad na hindi maaring ang Pilipino ay hindi hayaan umuwi, ano? Maliwanag po 'yun. Kaya't nagtataka ako kung baka naman si Attorney Chan may kopya pa nun kasi ikaw raw yata yung author. November 21, ito tungkol sa UAE to. Walang kinalaman dito sa kay PRRD.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. I do not recall having issued a specific opinion on that date, Your Honor. If,
Would you recall number 50? A memo number 50. It's no longer in the website for some mysterious
opinion
reason.
number 50?
If you could just look it up, we'd be very grateful
We'll
and
get
we'd
back
like
to you
to
on
have a
that
copy.
within the afternoon, Madam
Sige,
Chair.
Attorney Chan, maraming salamat. Ngayon, yung tinatanong ng lahat, yung obligasyon sa ilalim ng isang treaty, ibig sabihin ba, ligtas na sa ating Bill of Rights, sa mga karapatan pantao? Ibig ko sabihin, kapag may obligasyon ng Pilipinas sa ICC, sa Interpol, do we still have to comply with the Bill of Rights that guarantees the rights to the accused and to the arrested?
That's a given.
Certainly, the Bill of Rights is there precisely to limit the powers of the government, and if the government can circumvent the Bill of Rights by just entering a treaty, then the rights guaranteed under Article 3 of the Constitution are no longer secure, hindi po ba? So, can compliance with the ICC obligations allow the government to disregard the Bill of Rights? Hindi po ba? Maliwanag po yun. At for the same reason na talaga ang nangingibabaw sa lahat ay yung ating konstitusyon. So kahit papano napilitan na maaresto at itangay ang dating Pangulo sa ICC dahil daw sa ilang obligasyon, pandaigdigan, kinakailangan talagang sumunod pa rin tayo sa ating saligang batas, lalo na yung Article 3. Talagang sagrado po yun, di po ba? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So, ang tanong namin at tanong ng lahat ng sambayanan, bakit ang pamahalaan, ang administrasyon, hindi muna kumuha ng court-issued warrant galing sa Pilipinas bago inaresto si Presidente Duterte? Why didn't the administration secure a court order before flying the President out of the country? Nung last hearing, may sinasabi si Secretary Remulla na yung nangyari surrender, hindi extradition. At hindi katulad ng extradition, sa surrender, hindi kinakailangan mag-issue ng warrant of arrest para damputin ang dating Pangulo. Tama po ba yun? Kasi yun ang sinabi nyo dati nung
Mga extradition kasi, hindi ho natin pwedeng gamitin dito sapagkat hindi tayo pwede mag-file ng extradition dahil nasa atin po yung tao. Ang extradition po na sinasabi ng batas ay yung court o yung arresting state, yung state pala na may warrant, ang mag-file ng extradition sa Pilipinas. Kaya surrender lang po talaga ang option natin. Wala ho tayong ibang option.
Kabisado ko po yan. Panahon pa ng tatay ko yung extradition law natin. Ako yata nag-type nung bata. Ang tanong dito, under surrender, there's no need for a Philippine court to issue a warrant. Ang sabi po ninyo, that's the stand of the government. Is that
Opo,
correct?
iyan po yung aming stand.
Does this not contravene the Bill of Rights that we've already agreed upon as being sacred and above all else, particularly the right of deprivation of liberty without due process,
Yung due process
and
po
the right
kasi,
of liberty of abode?
kasi ang due process po dito, yung sa issuing body, yung nag-issue po na warrant of arrest if they observe due process. Ang alam po natin, 7 taon pong inimbestigahan itong kasong to. nagbigay po ng notice to sa mga kinauukulan na maaari nilang kasuhan. At pinayagan sila sumagot. Alam ko po yan na binigyan sila ng notice, may mga tanong na binigay sa kanila, pinayagan po sila sumagot. Kung ayaw po nila sumagot,
7
is
taon
our own
ito
look.
sa ibang bansa, hindi 7 taon dito sa Pilipinas.
Opo, habang tayo po isaklaw ng ICC,
Hindi pa rin saklaw yan sa ating batas.
Hindi,
Kasi
ano
ayon
ho?
sa ating batas,
Hindi,
maliwanag
habang
na.
tayo po ay saklaw ng ICC, binigyan na po ng due process yung mga tao.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Can I interject?
Senator De La Rosa, please.
May I know from the good secretary, saan kayo nakakuha ng information na yan? Na yung mga
Ganun ho kasi
souvenirs
ang-
binigyan ng tanong, pinapasagot yung mga akusado. Saan po kayo nakakuha ng informasyon na yan?
Tsaka sinusubukan po nilang kausapin. Yun po yung alam ko. Talagang
I'm asking about yung sinabi mo kanina.
natural po yan,
binigyan ko.
nakalakaran, kahit anong korte po, ay binibigyan ng pagkakataon na sumagot ang tao sa mga paratang sa kanya.
I was not.
Senator Bato, nakalista ka. Binigyan ka ba ng pagkakataon noong nakaraang 7 taon na sumagot sa anumang aligasyon?
Meron nag-communicate sa opisina ko na gusto akong kausapin. So that's it. Hanggang doon lang.
Siguro hindi
Kinausap niyo ba ho?
due process.
Kasi kung kinausap niyo, marahil ay sinabi na sa inyo yung nais nila sabihin.
Bakit ko kausapin? Sinabi mo na nga na hindi niyo recognize yung jurisdiction ng ICC. Kayo mismo, from DOJ. Ilang bisis mo sinasabi noon, Madam Chair, na hindi na recognize. Ako pa, i-recognize ko na ako mismo ang kinakasuhan?
Meron
kayo na
ho
nga,
kasing-
gobyerno na kayo. Kayo na nagsasabi na hindi niyo na-recognize. Bakit ako pa mag-recognize?
Meron po kasing residual powers ang ICC eh. Yung po
Sabi
yung
ninyo, 1 taon lang yung residual power.
Oho,
So,
pero
bakit 2019 to 2020,
yung buong ano ho,
parang bilang
yung
yun?
buong panahon na dumaan mula 2011 hanggang 2018, ito po ay panahon na meron pong jurisdiction ng ICC sa ating bansa, sa ating mga citizen. Ngunit katapos nun, nawala na ho yung itong hindi na ho na natin maaring kilalanin sapagkat umatras po tayo sa pamagitan sa ICC nung inatras po ni President Duterte noong 2017 na naging effective lamang noong 2018.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Senator Bato.
Siguro, Secretary Remulla, you are aware about yung dalawang dissenting opinion na sinabi ng dalawang miyembro ng pre-trial chamber ng ICC na nagsasabi na yung jurisdiction, about temporal jurisdiction, ang magti-trigger lamang ng investigation is yung paghihingi ng pag-request ng permission ng prosecutor to the ICC. At ito'y ginawa nila 2 years after nag-effect yung ating withdrawal from the ICC. Ginawa po nila yan, 2 years. Kaya nga, dalawang dissenting opinion yun eh. So sana, kung tayo, if you want to interpret itong mga bagay-bagay na ito, sana we have to interpret it in favor of our people. Tao natin ito eh. Pilipino ito. Bakit natin papaboran yung mga foreigner na mga banyaga na yan? Sila na nga nagsabi. It was the request for to conduct investigation was triggered 2 years after nag-effect yung ating withdrawal. But then again, Madam Chair, I will leave it at that. Please continue.
Yes, Senator Cayetano, please.
Just a manifestation on that point, and of course, our friend, the DOJ Secretary, can rebut or give a retort. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Justice Ascuna, thank you very much po for giving us time and being here today. Actually, isang main contention siguro yung residual power sa case sa Supreme Court, and as the Justice Secretary said, it's sub judice, and of course, everyone will be waiting for the decision of the Supreme Court. Ang point ko lang kasi, both sides, the pro-Duterte, anti-Duterte, want accountability. The pro-Duterte feels that the accountability is the drug lords, etc. And if President Duterte did something that amounts to a crime, pero ang accountability dapat dito sa Pilipinas at tamang proseso. So doon naman sa gustong i-hold, anti-Duterte, gusto siyang i-hold accountable, siguro naman ay it's safe to assume that they also want yung tamang proseso.